Hello, welcome to Kevlar's Quest, the Modern Life podcast. I'm Kevin Ejezi. Today's quest is Rethinking Family in Today's World. Rethinking Family in Today's World. When I look at the way people around me, family, friends, even strangers, choose to settle down and start families, I notice some patterns that don't always make sense. Now, I'll use the US as an example since many African societies often look to Western models of relationships and family life. And honestly, I think there are some big design flaws in how modern families are set up. These flaws might even explain why marriage and birth rates are dropping. The typical modern family is what we call the nuclear family. A couple with one or two kids living together in their own home. That's not new. What is new is that in most cases today, both parents are working full-time jobs. And that's where things start to get complicated. It's not that people want it this way. It's that they have to. That's why both parents are what they have to, especially with the economy these days. The economy is very, very low. That two people need to work in order to sustain the family, which is the mother and the father, or the husband and the wife. One income just isn't enough anymore to support a household. So both parents work and the family adjusts. But here's the catch in all this. When women entered the workforce in large numbers, it doubled the supply of labor. And when you flood the market with labor, wages don't rise. They actually fall. Their salaries don't rise when you flood the market with a lot of labor. It doesn't rise, it actually falls because there is labor everywhere. It's only scarce commodities that are being sorted out for that people pay more for that rises. That's when salary will rise. But now we have a lot of labor everywhere. That's part of why families now depend on two incomes. And while this gave women more independence, it also created a situation where stepping away from work isn't really an option unless your partner earns way above average. Now that's rare. So most families are stuck in this dual income model. Now think about what that means for relationships. If a woman earns a high salary, let's say about $100,000 a year, she's used to a certain lifestyle. Starting a family with someone who earns the same amount might actually feel like a downgrade because raising kids is expensive. To keep the same lifestyle, she would rather prefer or need a partner earning far more. Something only a small fraction of men can do in today's world. This mismatch is one reason why many women delay marriage or choose not to have kids, and why some men are left out of the equation entirely. Now, some women may say, why doesn't he go and work hard? Remember, as he's working hard, his health is also at risk. He also stands a chance that he will not be choosing for that job. Why? Because that same thing that he's doing has been flooded by other competitors in the labor market. So he doesn't have all that high probability of hustling and even having, let's say, even a fifth job. Even though he wants it, and even though he gets that fifth job, he will be paid less because the market is flooded with a lot of labor, which includes also women. But here's the bigger question. Are women really better off now? In the past, women depended financially on their husbands. Today, many depend financially on their employers. And if you think about it, that's not necessarily more secure. Jobs can disappear overnight. Employers hold the power, just like husbands once did. Yet, society celebrates this as independence. It's a strange paradox. Because how can they condemn the dependability of women on men in those days? They condemn it, but in today's world, they celebrate the independence of women, the independence on their employers. It's a really strange paradox. And then there's what happens when kids arrive. When the couples decide that, okay, they want to have kids. From the moment a baby is born, families often rely on outside help. People like nannies, daycare, babysitters, night nurses. Raising children becomes something outsourced to professionals. So in practice, the father is working to pay someone else to raise his kids, while the mother is working for someone else to maintain her lifestyle. It's almost like everyone is serving someone outside the family. And that makes you wonder, what's the point of this setup? What's the point of even having a family? It takes critical thinking for you to be able to understand what I'm trying to explain. It takes grave critical thinking, and it explains why there are lower rates of marriages, a lot of divorces, and why so many people are giving up on having kids. Wouldn't it make more sense if families could afford to have more parents focused on raising the kids while the other provides financially? That's simple, cheaper, and more fulfilling. But for most people, it's not realistic. So what's the solution? For men, it means striving to be above average in terms of income and stability. For women, it might mean rethinking the timing of marriage, choosing earlier when lifestyle expectations are lower and options are wider. These choices could rebalance the system. At the end of the day, modern families often feel like private surrogacies, outsourcing the very heart of family life. And if that's where we are heading, we need to stop and ask ourselves, is this really the future we want? Or can we imagine a better way to build families that are not just economically sustainable, but emotionally fulfilling too? Okay, that's our quest for today. Please subscribe, like, and share. Someone out there needs to hear this message. Maybe someone like you. Let's spread strength and clarity to those navigating this journey. We'll talk more in future episodes. Let me know your thoughts.